Hello again, and welcome back to more Sonic Free Angel Island Revisited. You could just call me Stent. Last time, we finished up getting all the Super Emeralds with Sonic, and now we're on Knuckles' story here. Technically Knuckles and Tails, because I figured I may as well try that out. I brought up some extra save files just in case, so by all means let me know if there's a, you want to see a Tails playthrough. But for now, we're just going to carry on as Knuckles. Last time we only got as far as Marble Garden, so I'm not sure whether we'll actually be able to get the achievement for getting all the giant rings in the stage. I may end up referring back to the little itty-bitty guide I've got hooked up, just so just to sort of help out and alleviate things a little, so I'm not wandering around here constantly. This slope, weirdly enough, I always found super strenuous to get up with Sonic, though I'm guessing you're supposed to use these rotating platforms for that. Also, yeah, spiked enemies, my favorite. Let's just start off with this one. I'm hopefully gonna avoid what happened last time and just manage to grab all the emeralds super early in this stage, so we don't have to worry about, well, at the very least, the Sonic Free portion of this. Weirdly enough, when I was younger, I think this was one of my personal favorites of the special stages. Just one I always... I suppose it's a good way of thinking of it, actually. One thing that I noted in the past, but I kind of forgot to mention. Fairly certain all the Sonic Free stages, at least, have theming based off of various stages in the game. Like, for instance, this one, Emerald number 6, I'm fairly certain is themed after Ice Cap. I'm just thinking too deeply into it. It's just something I always noticed as a kid. I think this was also one of the ones that I prided myself on completing as a kid. Possibly. Okay, there we go, there we go. Just need to get my bearings for it a little bit. There we go, just as long as I don't mess up these last ones, we should be good. It's Emerald number 6. Still looking like a big D12 Jolly Rancher looking thing. Also messed around with a few of the settings just to see what effects I can get. I don't want to divorce it too much from last time, just a few extra little things here and thither. As far as I'm aware, next emerald is up here. I know for a fact there's an achievement for getting all 6 of the giant rings here. I'm gonna try my best to actually call them by their proper name this time. Rest assured. And I think the next one... yeah, through here with this conveniently placed sign. And this immediately brings us to this one, which, logically speaking of what I said earlier, would be themed off of Launch Base, which I do kind of see, if you squint really hard. I think it's probably best if I just leave that one alone for the time being, just so I don't mess up a perfect on there. Yeah, you can probably tell I have a lot of history just... specifically with these Sonic Free special stages. Just spent ages and ages and ages trying to get them down as a kid. Back before I unlocked Sonic Free and Knuckles. Didn't even realize for the longest time that it actually was on Mega Collection. Until, well, I looked on the internet and saw, oh, that's how you do it. Well, I mean, it was definitely a cool little thing to actually find out as a kid. Just this feeling that you'd unlocked just hidden knowledge. What would also be nice is if I could actually remember where I'm supposed to go. That's the worst thing with these particular stages. Oh, hold up, hold up. I could have just done that this whole time. I think I can just get away with this. There we go, there we go. Just had to cheat the system a little bit. And there we go. Oh, hey, Termite. We're just getting the last of the Chaos Emeralds. And now we get into a small little bit of controversy with the fact that... Give it a second. Give it a moment. Wait for it. Super Knuckles. In his penultimate appearance after Mania, until they decide in Superstars, nope, Super Knuckles never actually happened except for when it was mentioned in Frontiers, which just seems cruel in hindsight when you really think about it. It's like there's all this time they've been teasing Super Knuckles, and then Superstars are just like, nope, never actually happened. No idea what you're talking about, Termy. Now let's actually get out the map so I can figure out the next one. I would like to get all 6 of the rings here, so I just want to be sure about the particular path I'm going to take, if you don't mind. So, just having to check as to where exactly we are at the moment. Okay, so we're about there, so next would be just, just carry on until we hit the 4th one, looks like. Rips Super Knuckles, yeah. That's one thing I never got, because it was like, oh, only male hedgehogs can get super forms, but isn't Knuckles a type of hedgehog? Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line, game? I get that you want to keep the super forms sort of special and not just hand them out like they do in Dragon Ball. But surely there has to be at least some logic behind it. Other than just arbitrarily saying, oh, only male hedgehogs. There has to be a reason, like maybe some high amounts of chaos affinity is required in order to properly use the emeralds, which I always assumed was the case anyway, which explains Shadow at the very least, but then that brings up every single question known to man with regards to Sonic and Silver. Knuckles at least has, you know, spent most of his life around the Master Emerald, so he probably is just the closest thing to Microwave Baby, which I kind of wanted to hold off talking about the Archie comics until now, because of course Knuckles is probably one of the most infamous spots. And there we go, jackpot! You get an achievable for that, apparently. Got one of those earlier. Yeah. Perfectly fine with the individual Chaos Emerald 7 powers. So it was only on the North Star Islands, which, again, you kind of have to bring into question the gems from 06, but then you have to question whether or not 06 is actually canon or not, which I would personally be in favor of saying not really. Okay, just checking where I need to go next. That would be just this way. I'm trying to get all 6 of the things for the achievement here. So from the looks of it, we just head this way. And Vince, they want 06 to be selectively canon. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, but I kind of considered a lot of the canon of the Sonic series in general just be like a big jigsaw puzzle where it starts off with a lot of the pieces fitting together just fine, and as time goes on, more and more the pieces start fitting together, sort of, or at least you'd assume so. But you don't see exactly how they fit together. Sonic Unleashed and Colors want their own standalone story, soft reboot now, which is in 06 is canon only to itself. Yeah. Just trying to figure out where my next red ring quarry is going to be. I think... I don't think I can hit that one. Let's just... Yeah, this is surprisingly complex. Just trying to get my bearings. Hold up. Mention Unleashed and Colors were reboots. Oh yeah, I am aware of that. Yeah, this is a little awkward because I'm fairly certain I may be just a wee bit screwed in terms of actually finding which place is I need to go in order to get the rings. Complex. Sonic Prime isn't canon to this series? Yeah. I'm fairly certain I already mentioned this, albeit poorly last time, but I would be fine with them just having just sort of a set... This is the set of number of games which are canon, and here's just a lot of stuff that isn't canon, and really I just want a lot of stuff to be more beholden to itself and allowed to have more expression about it. I think the best example of this I can think of is the IDW comics, where of course they say they're canon and yet they can't really do anything which would rock the boat too much. They're just sort of left meandering and not really doing much, so... I would personally rather they, they just save sort of canon comics to supplementary material, like the various game promotion comics, and just let the comics and other expanded media, for example, just be its own thing where, sure, it can use stuff from the games, but it's its own contained story which can do what it wants with the wider sandbox. If that makes any sense. Yeah, everything is canon is a mistake? Oh, definitely. Definitely. Just feels like the textbook example of an overcorrection in my books. Just us going all this time saying that nothing in the series properly is canon, and then just having to backpedal to the nth degree and say, oh no, everything was canon, except that doesn't make any sense either. Like, there really has to be sort of a dedicated list of this is canon, this isn't canon. And then just decide what goes in each particular box, because I suppose that's another problem with this whole canon debate in my books, is that people tend not to see canonicity as an actual logical tapestry thing for the health of the series. They more just see it as their own favorite game being vindicated, as being important to the series, and by extension they in turn matter, which I don't think is a particularly healthy way of going about things. Nonsense you. I don't think they specifically meant Babysitting Cream and Bench Tales to actually be canon, but it is indeed a disturbing prospect. Not gonna lie, just Where do you draw the line with these sorts of things? Also, where am I going? I could have sworn there was some more giant rings around here. Hold up. Just wanted to check where exactly I am at the moment, because I think I may have gotten a little lost. Let's just continue on with the game. These guys way to vindicate the games they like and reject the games they don't like. Yeah, pretty much. I would say that it's something that you also see in series like Star Wars, but at the same time, most of the stuff which is often disregarded as canon and also stuff that is generally of poor quality, which strictly goes against a more rigid canon, where obviously that isn't really the case for Sonic. Alright, let's have a look at this funny looking boss. Sonic EXE and Tails Lol Creepypasta's canon as well? Yeah. It's not exactly something that I take much comfort in. I'd rather have stories isolated on devices so they can do more. Yeah. Just have a set of games which are sort of the main timeline be your through line, and just let everything else that doesn't exactly fit fall into its own sort of thing. Like, I think a good example of this would be Riders, which obviously people like at least the first two Riders games, but they're clearly in an entirely different sort of setting to the rest of the game, with all these hyper-futuristic cities with flying cars and whatnot. It's something that I also noticed with Heroes, like how exactly do you make all these hyper-futuristic cities with flying cars exist in the same setting as like Station Square and San Francisco back in Adventure 2, where they have normal cars? Rise's only loosely connected? Yeah. I'd be fine if more games also fit into that category, mostly just the ones which are more egregious, like obviously 06 is one, Sonic 4, Sonic 4 I already sort of justified in my head as being a quote-unquote bad future of CD, where it's like, the good future is the quote-unquote timeline that we see up until there really isn't a defined timeline anymore around 06. So, you know, starting with Sonic 1, Good Future Sonic CD, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Adventure, Adventure 2, Heroes, and so on. Yeah, Shadow Hedgehog is weird because it goes back to San Francisco, yet it doesn't have the same... Despite having wacky level environments like Heroes. Yeah. Shadow the Hedgehog, in terms of the game, really just feels like they just took all these sort of assets and ideas they had from all the previous games, just mashed them together into a game, which were then released in, like, what was it, 8 months? It was an insane turnover from Sonic Heroes, I know that. Especially given it was like half the team, with the other half working on 06 and Secret Rings. Because they did, yeah, that's not entirely surprising. Honestly, I know it may be kind of cynical of me to say this, but I have been around a lot of people who recently brought this up. It's generally a miracle that Sonic has managed to not only survive this long, but find relevance again after the movies. I mean, the movies have definitely helped a lot in bringing back a lot of relevance to the series, but it's just... You never would have thought, would you? Also, Tails, I think I need your help here. You're not supposed to go this way, as Knuckles. However, I'm starting to think maybe I should have just done this with Knuckles alone. Yeah, I saw your messages about 20 plus sets of Chaos Emeralds in 06. Not sure if you're just counting the gems or whatnot. It's been a while. But yeah, this was also always kind of perilous for me to go for as a kid as well, just the rising platforms. Something I can't really help but notice about this game, it's over-prevalence / reliance on crushing hazards. Also, I think we're on the path of Sonic's Marble Garden boss, unfortunately, so we're just gonna have to go for it again as Knuckles. And I'm not gonna have any rings for this. Every island has their own set of emeralds, huh? So is that just something they're trying to justify, or... time travel shenanigans? Probably. I'm mostly focusing on the game, unfortunately, so... I'll try to look back at chat when I have the opportunity to do so. Also, yeah. Did you think you'd ever see this as a kid, actually being able to fight this particular boss as Knuckles? Meant from the beginning for each island to have their own set of emeralds. Yeah, that actually, to be honest, makes a fair bit more sense, given how exactly all the different emeralds end up just back in the special zones. And how come all the emeralds are different shapes each time? Like, obviously you had the, like, more square hexagonal shape from Sonic 1, you had the more diamond hexagonal shape from Sonic 2, you have the D12s here. 7 emeralds only was just a retcon, right. Admittedly, that is definitely quite interesting. Wasn't fully aware of that, admittedly, though. It's one of those things where the more you think about it, the more it makes sense. Also, I should probably just stop relying on tails. It's fun to have, but I'm probably just going to use them for one particular thing, and maybe some of the giant rings in Mushroom Hill. If we get there, of course. Weirdly enough, I also have a lot of fond memories of Carnival Nights as well. Most, I think, just the, really like the night atmosphere of this place. Just seemed like a fairly chill place to hang out. No beta Carnival Night? Nope. I will admit, it may just be me being an old bun, but generally I've always preferred the retail version of the Sonic Free soundtrack. Think of that what you will, it's just been a personal preference of mine since I was a kid. Then again, I think a lot of my perception of those particular themes have sort of been spoiled a little bit by Origins. West Side Island has a tribe where they could have been affiliated with the Knuckles tribe, huh? I mean, maybe you could say that's more of the Pachacama's expansionism during his time as Chief. It was mentioned in Adventure 1 how Pachacamac was all about, you know, expanding the Empire and whatnot, and needing the emeralds to do that. Never experienced the horrors of the barrel, never got this far in Sonic Free. Yeah, that's the weird thing. For some reason I never had any issues with the barrel. This seemed a fair, somewhat just, intuitive to me for some reason. More so than the End Supreme, at least. Also, yeah, again, this very unfortunate shaped enemy. They must have known, surely, just... funny Pingus machine. By the time it did, we all knew how to get past it. Yeah. I suppose that also helps. South Island's the same thing since the tribe wiped out by the Chaos Emeralds that traveled across the ocean. I thought the whole being wiped out by the Chaos Emeralds was West Side Island, and just South Island was just this one place where it just teleported from place to place, rather than just being the size of the continent as it is in Forces. Also, yeah, completely... I'm probably sure I mentioned this last time, yeah. Knuckles has the ability, despite having a low jump height, to break through certain walls, which is how he can have his own select route throughout each level. Same canon event. If anything, I found the cannons more finicky in this level than anything, just timing them right to aim where you want them to. I was, yeah, not entirely certain if this was intentional, but... yeah. Shortest level in the game. Aside from maybe Angel Island Act 1. I completely forgot just how the entire level just skips you past it after that. It's just funny in hindsight. Who's killing all these tribes with the Chaos Emeralds? I was led to assume there was more so them doing themselves, and, you know, great power corrupts absolutely, and as a result, they ended up just being their own undoing, with the emeralds just wiping them off the map. At least that's what I always figured. Yeah, I think we just go super here. Those particular Orbitrons with the ice spikes, I always found the most sad, to be honest, because you got the fire Orbitrons, you got the normal Orbitrons, who are all super dangerous, and you just have the ice ones who just completely give up as soon as you walk into them with a fire shield. Yeah, I think, as far as I'm aware, you're gonna need tails in order to get to a certain achievement here, which I believe... Don't quote me on this, there we go. You're gonna need him to get up there so you can continue through Sonic's path. And then also use the power of Super Knuckles to bypass all the ice spikes, which is nice. Sonic doesn't wear shoes, he wears Santa boots. Oh yeah, I know about the whole Christmas Island thing at the very least. Kinda weird that they never brought that up ever again. Would have thought they would have done a lot more sort of, Christmas promotion with this series, but I guess not. Sonic wears boots. Gotta say though, those are funny looking boots, if that is the case. Unless that's more sort of a concept art thing, thought I almost died there. Never liked this particular segment. That spring in particular always just sort of messed me up. And this one. Guess I'm just gonna have to find another way. Tails, please. Come on! There we go. Should have just spin dashed. Alright, let's go again. If I can even remember where we are at this point. Ah. All the way back here. Wonderful. Think... Nope. The giant ring's gone, so I'm just gonna have to do this on my own power. It was so bizarre to me actually learning the origin of this particular track. Because I always thought it was one of my personal favorites throughout the original soundtrack, only to find that it was from a completely different source. This being this other band and this other song, which I've actually listened to the song this is based off of, Hard Times. I quite like it. Wish the boots looked more like actual boots. Yeah, I can see that. Also, you may have to bear with me here. Just trying to get this particular achievement. It's pretty hard to do for a reason, I think. Along with actually not touching any of the water in Launch Bay Zone, which I'm not going to be doing. Also could do with a fair few rings. Could have done a better job with boots looking like boots. I figured it'd be interesting to see at the very least. Does that mean everybody's wearing boots? Maybe. I mean, I could definitely picture Tails wearing boots at the moment. And I could also imagine him actually helping me out here. Tails, you're tearing me apart. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna need his... I'm just gonna bypass this bit here. Tails, if you please. Thank you. Gonna constantly have to rely on your buddy. What do Amy and Rouge wear? Leggings? Long boots? Tearing you apart more than one way. Nope, nope. You're just being a little scamp is all. I think this is a Knuckles route. We're not going this way. Or are we? Just give me a sec. Just gotta push this little ice block here. Fairly certain if you duck there, it can kill you. I've had that happen to me before. Or just the screen catches up with you and you die. Saved by the tails. Alright, this is the place where I needed to do this, right. Now I remember, and you just do that. You just do that, and then you climb the wall. Game, please. Game! Tails. I've had enough of this. Whatever that is, just... There we go. And we're in Sonic's portion of the level now. Yeah, needless to say, you're not supposed to be up here. Just gonna wait for him to get rid of his little ice boulders. I say, I definitely do like the iceberg effect in the background. Also gonna have to rely on Tails for this as well. After this, though, I think we'll just stick to more conventional Knuckles routes as best we can. Come on, Tails. You probably couldn't tell by all the Sonic Free, the original Sonic Free music. Yeah, I do like the Michael Jackson stuff. Big fan of his music. Just a big shame about what happens with everything, really. Anyways, Ice Cap Act 2. This one always seemed like a fairly chill, calm before the storm level, in my opinion. Not particularly a, I wouldn't say it's one of the more memorable levels, it's just a nice, chill level to just go through, is what I'd personally say. You know, as long as you don't actually accidentally hit the lower routes. The penultimate place in the game where you see water. It still baffles me to this day, just how front-loaded all the water levels are in this game. In your own time. There we go. As for whether we'll actually have enough time to... Yeah, we should have enough time thinking about it, because Knuckles' campaign, on the whole, is also shorter than Sonic's. Then again, I think at this point we would have unlocked debug mode, so we could just have some fun with that. Just going with a whole bunch of scenarios we wouldn't... Don't mention that incident. It may not be the most familiar, unfortunately. Also, poor Tails. Well, that was a level that happens. I am admittedly somewhat disappointed about the lack of a Knuckles and Knuckles mode in this particular game, like there is in Mania. It's just the and Tails mode with Knuckles, which, you know, is fine. It's just I would have preferred a Knuckles and Knuckles option, like Sonic and Knuckles, Tails and Knuckles, Knuckles and Knuckles. Have all the emeralds at this part of the game? Yes. Probably just gonna have to take a fair bit of time actually finding all the Super Emerald locations in Mushroom Hill this time. No Super, just Chaos? I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'll be sure not to make the same mistake again. Just need to remember where everything is and hopefully not mess up on any of the special stages again. There you go. I keep forgetting there's a spring there. I will admit it's definitely been a while, so I'm not 100% on all the intricacies. I forget the name. Intricate things in the game. You can tell it's been a long day. Do you plan on streaming Mania? Yeah, eventually. You know, Mania, Mania Plus. Had a good time with that the first few times it is, so I figured that was an obvious shoe-in for a for stream material. Figured I might want to go for a different Sonic game first, though, like maybe a battle, maybe an advanced. If I'm lucky, maybe see if I can do anything with Chronicles. I do definitely want to stream Chronicles at some point. No, I haven't streamed Mania yet. Well, I mean, I wasn't exactly a big fan of the beta soundtrack for this particular level again. I suppose you could argue it's some similarly bombastic like Winged Fortresses, but I wasn't exactly the biggest fan of Winged Fortress either. Mania Plus is really fun. Yeah. Wasn't exactly the biggest fan of Encore mode, but I'll definitely take it over Superstars. Just trying to remember. I don't... Ah. Now I remember. Just want to check over here. Yep. Just gonna grab some extra items here if I can. Just so we're better prepared for the boss. So weird, I always used to mess up on these as a kid. Guess just the whole alarm and... Thoughts on forces, It's been a while since I've fought of forces, and I'd rather keep it that way. Let's just put it that way. Not a big fan of it. To the point where, in hindsight, I have no idea why I even got it. Because I'd seen a stream playthrough of it previously. And for, I guess somehow I was convinced that there was a kernel of something good. What just happened? It just fell through the floor. I would personally be happy if Tails, you kind of breaking the mood here. Okay, so these things just generally keep out of your thing. This is the whole one ring strategy though, isn't it? Just tank every single hit possible and just hope you hit. I think these actually take less damage than the, I mean, take less hits than the one in Sonic Story. There we go. Give me my rings back. Launch it at that time. Subscribe by subscribe to the mentality of, don't worry guys, I'll fix it before launch. Oh yeah, the classic Pokemon Sword mentality. Game footage not final. Except it definitely is. I actually played the demo of it on the Switch as well, so I had no real excuse. You know, where you had the chance of playing the Avatar level, but mostly just the first, Sonic level, Lost Valley, where you can complete it one-handed. Played through the whole thing, kept saying, you'll get better, and yet it didn't. Yeah. Yeah. Also, a little fun tidbit that I remember as a kid. The reason we're mostly going for these underground areas is to hide the fact that the rocket in Launch Base is no longer here, because of course it was launched in Sonic Stories. This takes place after the events of Sonic's playthrough. Generally nice little tidbits of little fun tidbit I remembered. So now it's just a whole bunch of water draining out of here. Still not lending as much credence to the fact that Knuckles knows his way around this island like the back of his hand if he constantly keeps going into areas which are a lot more difficult to navigate. I already mentioned this last part, it just never really made sense to me that the difficulty did not reflect Knuckles' familiarity with this island. Because you'd think he'd go the fastest and easiest routes imaginable, but I guess not. The only real place that really adds up is Carnival Night for obvious reasons. Used to think Angel Island Remake was by Sega, but it turned out to be a fan. Yep. Oh. There we go. Figured I'd play this instead because, honestly, I haven't really heard that many good things about Origins. And figured, you know what, I'll just stick with this one with the better music and arguably more quality of life stuff. And I think... Okay, we're not at the end just yet, though. Cheap placement of flamethrowers. Okay, we are at the end. So yeah. I suppose you could argue that at least some of Knuckles' levels are shorter. Origins okay? Yeah. I've heard at the very least with updates it's improved, but I think I'd still rather just play this. Please grab at least one ring. There we go. Yeah. The whole thing with the music. I have no idea what happened to Jun Senoi. You know, I grew up with his work on Adventure, Adventure 2, and Heroes. Still think that's just some amazing music he did, and now he's just doing simp stuff with Sonic 4. Just... Some of the melodies are definitely good, but the instrumentation, just why? Why are you doing this to us? Anyway, so we're fighting Big Arm again. Unfortunately, no Big Arm music. It's just the standard boss music, which is a shame. Also, weird little tidbit, which I thought was kind of weird when I was younger. The fact that in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you don't fight Big Arm at all as Sonic. Also, is he doing the thing where he goes up top, or is he just gonna... Oh, there we go. Step away from the simps. Pretty much. Anyone else play Overclocked? Sonic Forces with better story and stuff? You mean Overclocked? I did put out a survey a while ago asking if I should get Forces just to play Overclocked, and the majority was no. Which, fair, fair. May put out that poll again at some point, just to see if, opinion has changed. Also, please let me grab that ring. There we go. Do seem to be doing pretty good in terms of progress, though. Oh. You bamboozled me, sir. Oh, see, I loved the Project Chaos version of this track as well, Scrambled Eggman. Remember lock-on tech... I know all about lock-on technology, and I just find it funny that lock-on technology was created only for Sonic and Knuckles. Also, hey, Egg Robo, another bomb? Also, Tails is just here again. Didn't even break Knuckles' fall. The nerve of this fox. Anyways, let me break out my map again so I can be sure I know where we're going in order to get all these super rings, because it's been a while. Oh my god, Knuckles a bomb! I figured that was a little too obvious, so... Okay, so, like in Sonic Story, we do at least get one free super ring. Also use it for the mods on Sonic 1, huh? You mean Blue Sphere? Yeah, because from what I recall, lock-on technology, when used with games aside from Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, just gave you Blue Sphere. Different games would give you different level sets, but Sonic 1, from what I recall, gave you all of them. Could be wrong. Yes, Blue Sphere, my beloved. I will admit I never really got into the whole Blue Sphere game proper. Mostly just enjoyed my time with it in Mania and in this. I still think it's the best special stage. I mean, I say that, but then I remember Mania special stages, and I'm like, yeah, those were better. I do want to play Sonic 3D on the Sound at some point, just to see how those special stages play out. Because I've heard really good things about them as being like the best iteration of the classic half-pipe. Which, I will admit, when I was younger, I was never really a big of a fan of, mostly because, Tails and poor depth perception. Not on my end, but mostly the game's end. I think the Sonic CD stages were kind of dumb. I will admit I've never actually gotten all the time stones in Sonic CD, just... CD was never really a game I went back to all that often, but... From what I did play of the special stages, I thought they were okay, at the very least. Yes, get us more... Halfway to 1,000,000. Will we get it? Who knows? One down. Let's see if we can actually find the rest in Mushroom Hill this time. Just gotta remember where the rest of them actually are. Thinking that way, up. This is a very long level. Not in terms of... I mean, more so in terms of, actual geometry. Everyone debates if Sonic 2 or Sonic 3 are the best games on the Mega Drive. I would personally, stick with Sonic 3, just... But I'm not entirely certain whether or not that would be cheating or not, because, of course, I'd mostly be referring to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and not just standalone Sonic 3 or standalone Sonic 2. I feel that there has to be sort of a specification put behind that. The best is Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I was so happy to see Mean Bean Machine come back in Mania. And I didn't even play it that much, just seeing that again just put a big smile on my face when I saw it. Just trying to recall where we're supposed to be at this point. Okay, we're here. Fairly certain you can get an achievement, the absolute joy. An achievement for getting all the item boxes in this level as Knuckles, but I don't think I'll be doing that this time around. I'm also focused on getting Super Emeralds. I think I'm good to go this way. Oh, I messed up. Take me back, take me back. Here we are, familiar territory. Yeah, here's where the next ring is. I don't know about that because I got both for Christmas. I mostly know it from Mega Collection, personally. Alright, this one. Actually gonna have to use the D-pad for this one. You know, just to be on the safe side so I don't end up overcorrecting, which happened quite a lot during Sonic's playthrough, I'll tell you what. Oh, I messed up and didn't get the perfect, oh well. Yeah, if you jump at the right time, you can get a perfect knowledge. I'm pretty certain I also did that on Sonic's story, but unfortunately, we'll just have to go without the perfect this time. Rip the 1,000,000-point achievements. I'll probably just get that on my own time when I'm playing through this game myself. Not 100% certain as to whether or not people want me to go through this again as Tails, but... yeah, now the Super Emeralds are the actual Chaos Emerald shaped. Or at least, the Emeralds as we know them. Next Super Ring seems to be quite nearby. Yeah, needless to say, Sonic and Knuckles. Fairly certain I already mentioned this, but, just trying to make sure I'm going the right way. Yeah, I'm going the right way. I have to keep checking, because I don't want to miss a single giant ring. I believe it's down here. Yep. Third emerald. I'm probably gonna save the 6 over there for last question mark. Nah. Nah. Let's just keep right on trucking. I'm sure nothing will go wrong after me doing that. I think it's here where my whole prospect of all the special stages being color-coded to all the various levels in this game kind of falls apart. Here it's more so just conventional looking. I think I screwed up somewhere. Here we go. Very conveniently placed. Okay, so now the 4th ring, as far as I can tell, is going to be placed in a fairly tricky spot. I'm gonna have to be careful how I approach this. Yeah, I put heavy smoothing on the flickering effects just so, hopefully it picks up better on stream. We just go up through this loop, then around here, and then back. And this is where the next one is. Guarded by this very angry mushroom. I think we'll go this one next for our 4th. Yeah, I'm not gonna perfect this one. After what happened last time, I'm just gonna play it normally. I'm not 100% certain if you need to perfect all the special stages for the 1,000,000-point achievement, but I'd rather not take the chances while we're on stream. Just want to get all the Super Emeralds. And not have this turn into a complete cluster like it did last time. This is funny, because doing this normally, it's kind of one of the more, I suppose, conventional Or at least fairly simple things to go through. It's just very linear. There we go. No rings. Ah. Guess we're just gonna have to go without that perfection bonus. And I think that's all the rings we can get in Act 1. Now we just move on to the boss. Suppose I'm talking a little bit more, going back to the whole Knuckles comics. Obviously I never got a chance to really read any of the Archie comics as a kid, considering, of course, I am not American. But I always wanted to, no idea what happened there with his head. I always wanted to read them, but now it's more a case of actually making time to sit down and read, well, some of the best and arguably some of the best and some of the worst that the series has to offer. So I think, yeah, I think we'll just go forward for the time being. Unfortunately, we don't get propelled up in the air because, of course, we're Knuckles and we aren't going to trap ourselves. So we just break through here and end up in the autumn section anyway. When it came to Sonic & Knuckles on Mega Collection, I did play it a little bit, mostly just this level. And I really did appreciate, / really just straight up like how the season effects happened in this level. This seemed really cool to me. Just trying to make heads or tails of where I am at the moment. Yeah, we can't be going here. There we go, that's a little bit... Come on, Tails. Tails! I'm gonna need your help again, buddy. Needless to say, Tails is still the best character if they're looking for red rings, so I think I'm gonna need to actually build up momentum here. This level has a little gimmick which I kind of wish came back in the series more, these poles. You grab onto them, swing around, and get more speed built. Which, obviously, for a game based around momentum, you'd think the series would want to make more of an effort to use them, but then again, I keep forgetting that this game has no sense of character movesets. Like, for instance, let's take Mario, for example, the obvious pick. You know what Mario does from game to game. He has his jump, he has his ground pound, he has some form of grab sometimes. He has his long jump, he has his spin, all that good stuff. But for some reason, Sonic just never has like a dedicated moveset aside from maybe the homing attack, if you want to count that, which I suppose would be fair. Just this little oddity to me, personally. Okay, here's where all the rest of the rings were. Yeah, it seems to me, actually playing through this again, it's actually easier to do all the fiddly bits first, so you have an easier time with it with the speed, because here, of course, in these wider open spaces, the increase in speed isn't so much of a problem. 5 emeralds already. I'm just thinking after this, the rest of the stages are probably not going to be all that big of an issue. Yeah, you do get a lot of points just from perfecting all the special stages, so probably gonna have to learn how to do that again at some point. Where is the... Where is that 6th Chaos Emerald? Okay, it shouldn't be too difficult to find. Where am I? Where did you send me? There we go. Okay. So then we just jump off of here. Jump down here, and there we go. There we go. I knew where I was going, so... 6th emerald already, let's do this. This one was always sort of an oddball to me. Just a generally just pretty flipping strange one, just with how it's set up. We can only approach all the various spheres from a particular angle, which I suppose is pretty cool. Also, really sort of incentivizes you to perfect it, just with how many rings there are. So yeah, generally prefer to have rings counting down in these particular stages, so they're easy to keep track of, at least for me. Guess we'll go this way. Yeah, I think I've already scooped up all the ones which are just, Kinda got spooked for a second there. Not this way. Game, please, please. Oh, I was just trotting over the song and I lost control of this Knuckles. Where is this last? There's this last one. Game. There we go, perfect. Oh boy. And that just leaves the last one. I will admit, I've definitely been having a better time with actually getting the super realms this time. So, next one is... fairly on the beaten path from the looks of it. Shouldn't be too difficult to miss. From what I recall, it's actually possible to get 8 special stages in this particular zone, so shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Definitely gonna have to try going the lower route this time, though. You'll excuse me. Yeah, we're gonna need to go through here. Just like even the leaves being kicked up as you move about, it's just there's so much seemingly production value on this level, which I always marveled as a kid. I always thought it was just super... I missed it. Alright. Vanquish me, game. Vanquish me. I must atone. Where am I now? Okay, I think I'm back here again. Yeah, I also put on infinite lives because, of course, I'm one who sort of agrees on lives being this archaic thing which only was put in place for the arcades, but at the same time, it does admittedly sort of trivialize a fair bit of game design, I'd say. And the fact that a lot of games back then were built around the fact that you had a certain number of lives. So I guess it's sort of a give and take there, because Obviously, having infinite lives generally trivializes a lot of game design, which is fairly trial and error, so it's more just sort of becomes less a test of skill compared to a test of patience. I think Mega Man is honestly a good example of that, where a lot of it's built around trial and error and mastering the level design, which is kind of easy to do when you're have infinite lives. Hopefully that makes a fair bit of sense. Also, yeah, this is also another level which I tended to do a lot, so I think I should be fairly comfortable mastering this one, or at least perfecting it. This is where most of the stuff is. It does get a little bit tricky with the last couple of rings, though, because there's only 2 left. You just have to jump over it. There you go. Arguably one of my favorites of the particular Super lineup, and yeah. Kind of my bad in accidentally missing that one. I guess it was just getting too much into the actual game. But yeah. This time, we get to go hyper for real. Yeah, the smooth flickering definitely makes this better, I'd say. At least on my end. Hyper Knuckles! Which the only other place I've heard of Hyper Knuckles in the Sonic series outside of this game is, outside of fan mods, of course, is, Super Sonic vs. Hyper Knuckles in the Archie comics, or at least the, what I've heard of it at the very least. Which you'd expect to be this sort of super awesome DBZ style affair like Wrath of Nazo, but just turns out to be a comedy bit, which, honestly, I personally don't mind all that much. I think when it comes to the Sonic series, I may be somewhat Dragon Balled out, or at least not as big of a fan of just the constant light show spectacle aspect of Dragon Ball. Because I will admit, when it comes to Dragon Ball, I'm personally more a fan of the original series, just titled Dragon Ball, where the series was less about posturing, changing your hair, and screaming a lot, and more about actual proper techniques, like the Kamehameha was just this whole secret Turtle School ultimate attack, which was supposedly super potent. And only, like, proper martial arts masters could only use the Kamehameha, and here Goku was just pulling it off first try, like the prodigy he is. Also liked how this particular sprite looked when I was a kid. It really did look like this sort of 3D effect in it. I really like the shading. That's a shame. Oh, I didn't actually notice that I can actually adjust the audio using my, That's interesting. Also, find it quite odd that the Mushroom Hill background goes back to normal when you hit the boss like that. Is that trying to say that, whatever radio signals this thing was putting up into the sky was actively, turning the forest more of a, moldy white color? Also fairly certain this version of the boss is harder for Knuckles as well. Also completely forgot the last of the giant rings in this level, but we got Hyper Knuckles, it's fine. I don't remember this boss actually being all that hard, just kind of have to pay attention given I don't have any rings. There we go. Bump into the tree again. There you go. And I think with that, we should be fine to just cruise through the rest of the game, because of course, we don't have to worry about any more Super Emeralds. fairly soon you can get another achievement in Flying Battery here, which involves basically destroying as many enemies as you can find, which at this point I've already gotten a fair few of the achievements. I'll probably just do that on my own time. There's plenty of guides out there for a lot of these achievements. At this point I'm more so about enjoying the game, which I will admit, when I was a kid I never really got that far past Flying Battery. I think less because it was hard, but more so just again because of the lack of a save feature. I know it's kind of bad for me to say that, not really appreciating these games which don't have a save feature, but considering this is also built like Sonic Free, I sort of get the sense that could really have done with a save feature also. Yeah, I'm fairly certain for the scrolls on a plane achievement, you need to get all the enemies which are just hidden everywhere in the level. So I think, like for most of the achievements, you're best off using Tails. You know, when I was a kid, I really appreciated a lot of the 3D effects this game was trying to go for, like those spinning drums. Back when I was a kid, just playing this on a CRT, it looked super convincing to me, weirdly enough. Forgot there were spikes there. It's kind of a shame there were... It's kind of a shame that although the platforming is a fair bit more slow-paced. That's what I was trying to get across. There we go. Yeah, I think definitely wants Super Tails for this, so he can just delete all the enemies, because I think a fair few of them also despawn as well. You know, I want to actually test this out, see if you can actually do this. I think this way? Yeah, you just get some rings for your trouble, which I'll happily take as we take on Hyper Knuckles. He doesn't change at all from his super form, except getting an after image. Yeah, needless to say, his super form fair bit more underwhelming compared to Sonic's. Which, to be honest, I would have personally been on board with Hyper Knuckles being emerald green. Just show something to symbolize his connection with the emeralds, though I guess we can't really do green Knuckles anymore, can we? Thanks, Kenneth. I need to keep going back to mentioning the comics, but I keep forgetting. Yeah, Kenneth. I will admit, when I was younger and a bit more arguments, I was sort of more on the anti-Pender's rule of thought. Considering I was under the impression that because of him we can't have good stories in the series anymore, which may or may not be true. But as time has gone on, and seeing more of the context behind all the choices he did, and especially all the stuff with Sonic Life, as bad as that was, knowing that it was made with love for a son's passion of this game, I can't really stay mad at him. Especially knowing that a lot of the misgivings that a lot of his comics face, and the fact that most of them were less about a cohesive story and more about trying to make the readers happy. Knowing full well that the comic could get cancelled at any point. That sort of rule of thumb feels a lot more relevant now than it did back then. Especially given what's going on with the IDW comic. Like, that... Given the nature of IDW as a publisher, the Sonic comic really feels like it could just get cancelled at any moment. Honestly, I was kind of expecting it to sort of peter out after 50 issues, yet still going to 75. And not much has happened still, just... I think a lot of people have already pointed this out with regards to IDW, just the fact that in 50 issues, so much happened in Archie, yet hardly anything happened in IDW. Just so much of IDW was more just felt like spinning its wheels, just trying to fill out time with interactions with all these different characters who they want you so desperately not to notice they can't really do anything with. It's kind of sad, really. I knew that was gonna happen. There we go. It's just I was thinking I knew a platform opened up behind me there. I suppose to talk a little bit about Mania's version of Flying Battery. Almost died there. Well, again, Mania doesn't really have much in terms of original level gimmicks, per se. In terms of the already existing level gimmicks, I thought what they did with Flying Battery was straight up just pretty clever. I definitely appreciated it. For what it was worth, with just the fact that I don't want to go too much into detail until we get to Mania, but I may as well just say it. It took a lot of influence from a pre-existing Flying Fortress level from the classic series. And what it did with it I thought was quite clever. I enjoyed it. Could have sworn we could push this one, but I'm just thinking. It may just be because I'm playing Hyper Knuckles, but I do think we're starting to get close to the end of this level as well. I don't feel as Also really liked the capsules in the back there. You know, fun little world building, just showcasing that this is where a lot of the capsules are assembled and put to use across Angel Island and the rest of Robotnik's schemes. Okay, I think this is the last bit. Let's grab some rings for good luck. I don't think we're going to be able to carry over very many of them into this next fight. Yeah, Knuckles' main thing, whereas Hypersonic has his jump dash, which acts as a screen nuke. Knuckles sort of has a screen nuke, but it only happens when he glides into a wall at a high enough speed. It's certainly a thing, and I get it was sort of the only way they could really get a screen nuke like Knuckles' to work, but in terms of the quote-unquote hyper forms, it's definitely the most underwhelming. I've heard it said before previously that Hyper Knuckles isn't that great a super form. I agree. It doesn't really add as much as to Super Knuckles as Hypersonic does to Supersonic, and generally I just think it's kind of underwhelming in both its abilities and design. To the point where I could happily justify the prospect of Hyper Knuckles being non-canon as well. Also, fun fact about this level in the original, Egg Robo wasn't in this initially. Instead, it was just the same Robotnik sprite in this very unfortunate shaped machine. Tails, you threw me off there. And I'm so used to doing this normally and Tails not being here. Yeah, I think this one may take a little bit. The rest of the game I don't see being too much of a problem outside of maybe Sandopolis, but aside from that, I think we should be fine if we can just get past this one. Because again, like I said, it's... This whole campaign is a lot shorter compared to Sonic's. I don't think that's supposed to be there, game. Okay, there we go. Is that to, Yeah, you can also hit it preemptively like that. Yeah, we may be on this for a little bit. I was thinking it was just like with certain other bosses where you could just hang by the side and you'd be okay, but I guess not. Yeah, boy. Needless to say, I didn't tend to get this far in Flying Battery, and I never really liked this particular segment as a kid. I mean, not just because of the rising platform, but generally the boss of it is kind of annoying. I'm just gonna do this instead, seems more fun. Well, I'll definitely take this over any of the Superstars bosses at least. I need to stop hopping on that, just, yeah. If you didn't already know, didn't much care for Superstars. I still haven't played it since I last streamed it, and honestly, I plan for it to keep that way. Okay, just gotta jump fairly low and just hope I don't get torched. Somehow missed that fire spurt. I think we should be okay. There we go, finally. That was a boss that existed, and still find it kind of funny that Egg Robo still has all those different emotions behind it, despite just being this seemingly emotionless automaton. Alright, back to the rest of the game. I don't think much changes from Sandopolis, to be honest, though. Again, I think this is also where a lot of the big differences with Knuckles' levels come forth, because, again, this was the level that was paged as Sonic and Knuckles. I suppose that's the bonus of actually just playing Sonic and Knuckles standalone, though, because there isn't actually that many levels. You got Mushroom Hill, you got Flying Battery, you got Sandopolis, Lava Reef, Hidden Palace, Sky Sanctuary, Death Egg, which is about as much as Sonic Free, depending on who you're playing as. I suppose that's another thing I didn't really like about Sonic and Knuckles as well, the lack of tails. Which of course with Sonic Free and Knuckles is amended, thankfully. Yeah, back when I was younger, in case you probably couldn't tell by my design, how I look. Used to be a very, very big fan of Tails back in the day. It was my favorite for a long time, and then it was Shadow, obviously, and then Knuckles, and then Blaze, and then Gamma. And now I've had to pick one, it would probably be Vector. Depending on whether or not, Shadow Generation is any good, maybe back to Shadow. Just hoping with the next game they actually do something with Tails and follow up on that whole I'm actually going to remember my arc this time, which I'm fairly certain many people have already pointed this out. It really is just like Gohan in the latest, in more recent Dragon Ball media, because obviously he had his big moments, just like Tails has his big moments with Gohan vs. Cell and Tails in Adventure 2, where he was super confident and stood up on his own and became his own flavor of hero, and then after that you had Gohan with the time skip and Tails and Heroes, and Ever since then, despite getting some cool stuff here and there, generally faded into the background in favor of just the already established hero with Sonic and Goku. And then, of course, Dragon Ball Super, where Gohan was sort of just run through the miller, just constantly getting bullied by Frieza and the like. Just in the same way that Tails ended up getting completely ruined in Forces. And then in Frontiers, we also had Tails getting his little redemption, just like with Dragon Ball Super Superheroes only for the Super Nintendo, as I like to call it, where he got his own unique Mr. Beast mode, and I probably shouldn't call it Mr. Beast mode anymore, Gohan Beast. Whereas, like, yeah, he's got his own thing now, and there go all my rings again, and I'm about... Okay, I didn't get booted out, I was just gonna say. Always seem to get the worst luck of the... I say worst luck of the draw, I did get a jackpot last time. Come on, give me something good. At least give me something for my troubles, please. Ah. What a rip. Still have no idea where any of the giant rings in this level are, though. I will admit, actually looking at this level a little bit more, I definitely do like the background work on this level. Just the heat waves and everything, it just feels so authentic. One of those things that really sort of lend itself to this game being sort of timeless in a way, with its aesthetic. Well, you could say the same about the rest of the games, just I feel here in particular is where the Genesis Sonic art style was sort of just at its best, though granted it has been a while since I played CD and 2, so they may have objections to that. Tee-hee. But yeah, needless to say, even as a kid, Sonic 3 and Knuckles was always my favorite of the classic games, and that remains as it is to this day. And playing Sonic 3 Air again, just beforehand or even now, just... I'm hoping when I actually do become better at streaming that I'll be able to come back to this one day and laugh and have a good time with it. But for now, I'm just enjoying it. So I still find it weird that in this game Knuckles still has that little peach crest, like it's supposed to be like Sonic's little round peach belly. It's like Knuckles has this little peach crescent, as opposed to the white crescent he has in later games. Not sure if that's just a thing with Knuckles' sprites, or I'll probably have to check the Sonic & Knuckles title screen just to make sure. Because, yeah, Knuckles' sprites throughout these games has definitely been quite inconsistent, because of course, you gotta remember in Sonic 3, or at least Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the Mega Collection. Yeah, just that's it, just dive in. Sound is fine. I also find it weird that the music still, the boss music still persists after that boss. I forgot what I was actually going on to, but sorry. Anyways, Soundopolis Act 2. The twist here is that the ghosts are already out in force. Wonderful. Yeah. Needless to say, Knuckles' version of this level... I'm not sure I want to straight out say it's worse, but the fact that the ghosts are already out as soon as the level starts... kind of in for a world of hurt, just to say the least. Also, yeah. That's where the ghosts will normally be unleashed. Honestly, I'm wondering if there is a way to actually bypass the ghosts altogether. I'm guessing there isn't. Also, you have very, very human architecture down here. Okay, can't go that way, I think. Yeah, it was this one. I'm starting to remember. I've only played this level a couple of times. I suppose it's kind of funny in that way. When I was younger, actually playing through this for the first time... excuse me. I, admittedly, in order to get past this level, had to use debug mode because I didn't want to deal with the ghosts. You know, because I thought, oh, big menacing ghosts. I thought they were pretty scary because my first time actually entering in this level was with Knuckles. So I was met face first with these ghosts, which immediately wanted to kill me, and also crushing hazards. This game has a lot of those, by the way. I think it's stuff like that which general sort of level design and none of the jank. In terms of best Sonic games out of the box, no mods or fan recreations as such, I would probably have to give it to Mania. It is a shame because with mods a lot of these... Yeah, I'm trying to keep on top of the ghosts. I will admit, not entirely familiar with this alien slang. This alien language. I also find it kind of funny that they still retain those weird bead things from Mushroom Hill. Also, please let there be a light switch nearby. I'm about to die. Thank you. I'd say with a lot of the closing doors, this level does a fairly good job at instilling just a sense of dreading you with the ghosts and the timed doors and whatnot, though personally, in terms of this particular mechanic, I prefer how Oil Ocean did it in Mania. Yeah, I tend not to just, say much of the, let's just say, alpha slang, as it is fairly alien to me, and, well, I have my own particular types of slang. Let's just say, you might have heard some. Yeah, this level really does a good job instilling a lot of panic in you, I've noticed. Is that the sand is still coming, we gotta move, we gotta go, Tails. Yeah, I'm just gonna go hyper. Unfortunately, you can't kill the ghosts with the screen nuke, but I'm sure it'll help. Somehow. I find it kind of funny they still have these abseiling things in this pyramid. The brain rock ghosts from Sandopolis. I'm not sure I'd call them that. They're more endearing than anything. Anyways, I'm guessing this is the Knuckles route we're supposed to go through. The supposedly quicker route, which is actually harder. Oh yeah. It was supposed to be... Ah! No! Ah. Those are certainly words that have been put together in a sequence that could resemble a sentence. At least that's what I figure. Okay, right. So for this, I think I'm gonna have to... Oh, okay. I'm gonna say I think I know what I'm doing, but I guess not. Puzzle segments, hooray! Gonna just disable Hyper Knuckles for the time being. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need that that particular rock. I think. What is up here, I wonder? Ooh. Aha! Puzzle! I'm not sure I can help you here, unfortunately. Sorry, Tommy. Those scorpion enemies really, I think I want to do that again. Thanks, Tails. Anyways, I think boss is down here. Boss is down here. Okay, let's throw down. Not Egg Golem. As I glitch into you. Yeah. When the zone ends, well, it's over now. All that's left is Lava Reef. I'd say we've been making decent time at the very least. I was hoping to go into a little bit more detail with regards to certain elements of content with this game, but I think we can bypass that. I think I'll put out a poll to see if people are interested in a Tales playthrough. If not, then I think I'll just move on to what I planned to move on to initially after beating this. Because I have a little something, I think I'll save it when we're done, actually. I'm gonna say I have something special lined up. I mean, obviously there's Klonoa. Definitely surprised how popular that was in that particular poll. Just the most votes I've gotten on a single poll, and it was mostly for Klonoa. Freed from the Sandopolis, that's good. Hoping to get a fire shield here. Thank you, Tails. Yeah, it feels as though I've mostly been going through this as, unintended, just Tails giveth, Tails taketh away sort of ordeal. Also thinking, thankfully, I don't think we have to worry about the auto-scroller anymore. Not sure what happened there, Alan. But we should be nearly done. We're in Lava Reef, we only have this, and we have Hidden Palace, and we have Hyper Knuckles, so we should be good. I think this level is definitely where a lot of the super tough Knuckles elements come around, where of course you have to time stuff like this, navigate all these spiky balls. Press button while avoiding crushing hazards, get choked to death by smoke. Ah. Yeah, sure, we can do it with some more rings. Or, you know, we could just get... You know what? I'm not gonna try my luck. I'm happy with that. 84 rings? I'm happy with that. Let's go. Help! There we go. Yeah, needless to say, Lava Reef, after Sandopolis especially, one of my favorite levels in the game. At least the Sonic and Knuckles portion. Just always have a good time with Lava Reef. You can hear my controller clacking as I try to cough up the smoke. Oh, just like that, the level's already over. Yeah. I'm not sure if this will also be a thing for Act 2, but I feel at this point of the game, the levels definitely start getting shorter. Which I suppose gives credence to Knuckles knowing all the shortcuts. Even if they do get him killed most of the time. I can just stand here. That's it, you can't hurt me. And I will admit, I don't actually remember the boss of Lava Reef Act 2, or even if there is a boss at all. Needless to say though, I already mentioned how this is my favorite level aesthetically, just really love all the blues in this level. Just reminds me so much of the Sonic Adventure 2 menus. Okay, so that pathway is Knuckles exclusive. Good to know. Not sure if I'll actually end up running into any of the giant rings down here, but it would be nice to find them. Well, you know, I could just do that. Yay! It feels weird. It's like the back half of the stream has just predominantly been this. All the various bonus stages, which it's kind of weird. When I was a kid, this is the one I always liked the least, but nowadays, I think this might actually be my favorite. It's just the one that's the most mechanically engaged and doesn't feel like a complete dice roll. Can I please get out of Mr. Bones as well? Thank you. Let's go. Let me through. Also love the crystal effects here as well. It just looks so nice. Just thinking this might be the one area which may prove the most trouble. Just all the crushing hazards. Tails, please. You almost got me killed. Touching the wall. Yeah. I think that's what I do as the guardian of the Master Emerald. Anyways, we're back here again. Time to get more rings. Will I ever be able to escape Electro Jail? I, to be honest, completely forgot the name of all these special stages. I just refer to them as Electrosphere, Pachinko / Gotcha, and the Casino one. Honestly, thought it was pretty neat back in the day, the fact that the casino minigame was just the Sonic 1 special stage. Alright, let's go again. Just need to touch the switch. There we go. I think, funnily enough, in terms of Mania as well, I think Lava Reef Act 2, aside from Mirage Saloon Act 1, is the most different in terms of level layouts for Knuckles. Do definitely appreciate they brought that whole mechanic back, the whole Knuckles having lesser jump height and breaking through walls so he gets his own unique level portions. So personally, I feel there's just some certain character aspects from the classics which I feel should just carry over, like Knuckles' jump height, or Sonic's drop dash, or Tails' flight, or just generally a lot of stuff with Knuckles. Come on, glide! Glide to freedom! I think it's heavily oh. Glowing sphere, huh? So yeah, already at Hidden Palace, and since the Death Egg is gone again, there's really nothing left but to hit the switch. And then spend the rest of time on this next boss, which can be a little tough. Also, where did Tails go? Alright, here's Egg Robo. Where are you taking me? To see the true mastermind? Mecha Sonic is still alive? This can't be... This cannot stand. I will prove once and for all that Knuckles is better than a Sonic. Productive meeting, yep. I'm not entirely certain exactly what dictates which attack pattern he does here. I have expected him to do the one where he sneaks backwards, but he hasn't done it once yet. He usually does that all the time to trip me up. Come on. There it is. Bump into him, and that's the easy part over with. Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should game over now. Wait for it. I'll crush you. Yeah, I decided to bring this back. Seemed so obvious for Mecha Sonic, surely. Yes. Back when I was a little youngin', I did indeed watch the new Super Mario Bros. Z. Had a great time. Come on, fire your thing. There you go. Think you can get at least... Oh, you can get free hits in there. I am not a monster. I am a god. Oh, I actually managed to make it out that time. Yeah, I've had a lot of experience fighting this particular boss, and here's where it gets interesting. He switches up attack patterns, so instead of just zooming around, he just hits you with the fake rings, which, fun fact, I think was a cut mechanic for Sonic in this game. He was supposed to originally throw rings, as far as I'm aware, and that ended up getting translated over to poor Mecha Sonic here, who is now banished to Scrapnik Island for 20 years. Oh, and Tails is here for some... I was wondering where Tails went. He went to pick up the tornado to help me out. Oh, that's nice. It's like we've gone full circle. It's like a little tale here, where Tails came back to help out. And he became a good friend and little brother to Knuckles. It's nice. So, yeah. I was honestly expecting that to go on a little longer, but that was Sonic Furry and Knuckles, at least the Knuckles portion of it, which... Honestly, going through this, I was expecting it to be a lot harder than it was. It's just, I remember as a kid, it's just the, being the game's quote-unquote hard mode, and it sure was, but I guess mostly because of, actually remembering to pick up the Super Emeralds. It's, yeah, I think without the Super Emeralds, a lot of the, especially Lava Reef. Lava Reef Act 2 of a lot of the stuff it pulled. I could see it as just being generally tough level design with all the crushing hazards and fire hazards. It's just... generally seemed like a fairly tough, sort of proper final gauntlet challenge before the last boss, which... Of course, thanks to debug mode, you can potentially go back and actually play through Death Egg with Knuckles and do a version of Doomsday, which... honestly, I'm thinking, since we have a little bit of time left, let's do that as well. Let's fast forward. As Angel Island raises up to the heavens, with Knuckles being blissfully unaware about the fact that he has a water monster hiding in his emerald. And of course it goes back up into space. It's a kind of nice little detail, though it kind of makes it seem like the Angel Island is just in space, which... I mean, I guess with Hyper Knuckles it's not too much of an issue. And there it is, there's the proper emptying screen again, with Tails doing his cute little wave. Here we are again. I think first and foremost I wanted to actually have a look, yeah, the state... I'm probably not going to do any more of the achievements on stream unless, you know, I'll probably just put out a poll, so let's have a look. Debug mode. Activated in the options menu. If I can actually find debug mode in here. Let's see. Debug mode. Tweaks. Debug mode on. Sonic & Knuckles title screen. Let's have a look at it. Entire existence is suffering. Yeah, kind of cursed to hear the Sonic Free theme over the Sonic & Knuckles title screen, but yeah, the crest on Knuckles is supposed to be that color. Alright, title screen Sonic Free, debug mode on. I want to check actually, can you actually go... Okay, Doomsday, Final Act. Let's do Doomsday Knuckles. Okay, that's kind of neat. You could potentially use level select to get Knuckles in here, but his sprite is glitched. But here it's just he's doing the standard glide. Figured this would just be a fun little bonus thing to tack onto the end. Knuckles doing Doomsday. Because generally, I do like this particular final boss. It's like, you know, a particular final boss is good when the series just copies it verbatim just constantly. With Pocket Adventure and with Rush, and to less an extent the... well, probably not the Advanced series. They changed it up a little bit, like especially with Advance Free with Robotnik and Supersonic against Gemmo. Do want to play the advanced games on stream at some point. I have the technology. Suppose thinking more in terms of what I want to see from the future of this series, though. If Superstars is any indication, then probably not many other classic titles for a while. Because if Superstars is what we can expect from classic titles in the future, I would happily go without that. A lot of the design choices in Superstars I still find baffling, and I have no intention of picking that up for a very long time. In terms of other stuff that I want to stream, in terms of Sonic games, obviously there is the demand for Unleashed, which I'll definitely look into. Probably put out a poll for that when the time comes, but... aside from the various GBA games, I did have something planned for after this next week. Oh no, Knuckles lost the Master Emerald, oh... That's kind of a shame. Let's just fast forward as Angel Island is still stuck there. As Yeah, I think we can... I forgot this was a thing. I forgot debug mode was on. Please. Exit, thank you. I think, though, that's gonna be it for the time being. Sorry I wasn't exactly on my A game tonight, just, it's been a week. But, for next week, before we get to Klonoa, which I am definitely looking forward to doing, but before that, I mentioned Mega Collection a fair bit in this playthrough. I kind of want to go back and have a look, but until then, take care. Bye-bye.